Hi, this week in the weekly report, I'm going to be talking to you about the 5 most asked questions about the W-9 form. So stay tuned for that. This program is supported by a grant from the Texas Veterans Commission's Fund for Veterans Assistance. The Fund for Veterans Assistance provides grants to organizations serving veterans and their family. So in this week's weekly report, this is your Veterans Navigator, Scott Whittle. I want to talk to you about 2 questions that are always asked about our program. The first question is what do you provide? And the second one is always about our W-9 form, or the W-9 form. So I want to talk to you about that and answer all those questions. So it's 5 questions about the W-9 form. The first question is, what is a W-9 form? A W-9 form is an Internal Revenue Service form used to verify and clarify legitimate businesses and or vendors. All business owners, landlords should have this form available. Okay, so that's the point of the W-9 form. Now the next question is why does Amistad need it? Because as a 501c3 nonprofit, we are obligated by law that if any dollar amount over $600 is given to any organization, business, or individual, that it must be recorded on a W-9 form. And then at the end of the year, Project Amistad provides an I-1099 to that vendor. Okay, so in this case, your landlord, whether we are paying them the full $800 or $400, it is our company's policy to always collect W-9 forms for anyone that we cut checks for. So that's the purpose of it. And also, by law, Project Amistad must report to the IRS of giving those funds to any individuals. So it's a 2-step process. Once the vendor fills it out and is actually cut a check, at the end of the year, any amount over $600 will be sent to them, mailed to them on a 1099 so that they can report it. Then in turn, we also, the finance department of Project Amistad, will send a record to the IRS about giving that money to a vendor. So that's the purpose of the W-9 form. This always brings the question about where can I get it? But before I get into that, there are organizations and companies that are exempt from the W-9 form. Major companies such like Fortune 500 companies, Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, Citibank, and Freddie Mac are all exempt from having these. So if you have mortgages with them, then you are exempt from getting the W-9 form, okay? Local banks, credit unions, all of them have to do those things. Your landlord, if it's an investment property and there's a property manager there, whatever the case may be, a W-9 form is a required form, okay? Now, always after I explain this, the next question is where can I get it? Well, there's 2 places that you can get it. Of course, you can go to Google, put in W-9, it will take you to the IRS website. You can download it from the IRS, or the place that I prefer that you get it at, you can email me at swhittle@projectamistad.org. Once you email me, it'll automatically respond to you. And after that automatic response, there's a download link in there. Once you press the download link, it will download a document, a PDF of our entire program. Well, in that document is a link to a W-9 form, which you can download and use that form. Now, the reason I want you to use our form is because I've attached a second page to it. In our city, there are many apartments and homes that are owned by investors. So because of this, the check may need to be mailed to an address that is different than on the W-9 form. So that's what that second page is for. Is there on the second line, it says, if you wish for this check to be mailed at a separate address, please list below. This always becomes an issue because the only address that I have is the address that's on the W-9 form, okay? And I will mail to that address unless the second page identifies a separate address. So I've had checks end up in not just other parts of this city, but literally all over the country. I've had it to go Ohio, I've had them to go to the Carolinas, I've had them in other parts of Texas. So to avoid the delay in your check being received, I encourage you to use that second form that I created and give me the address that you want that check mailed to. Okay, so that's the second question. Number 3, what do I do once I receive it back? Now, some landlords does not want to give their W-9 form to the client, to the tenant, and that's fine. Also on that second page, I have provided an email address or a fax number, whichever they feel safer using, to get that document over to me. But if you're going to fax it, I need to be given a heads up because our fax is a fax that is used by, it's a community fax. Several people use it. So I need to know that it's going to be coming through so I can keep my eyes on it, okay? The next question that is always asked by the tenant is, well, what if my landlord will not give me the W-9 form? If the landlord will not give you the W-9 form, I can't provide assistance, unfortunately. We must have it by law in our records. So that's the 5 questions that is always asked about the W-9 form. Again, in review, what is it? Where can you get it? Why does Amistad need it? What do I do once I receive it? And what if my landlord will not provide it to me? Also, I want to give you a couple of tips on the W-9 form. Tip number 1, it's called a W-9 form, not an I-9, not a 1099, okay? When you call mortgage companies to get it, I don't care if it's local or out of town, usually the first person that answers the phone has no authority in giving you that form. Be polite, be courteous, and ask that person to transfer you to management. Usually the second tier or management can get that form over to you. Normally, if you talk to the person that you call in, that is the rep, they usually will either send you the wrong document or not know what you're talking about. So to save yourself frustration, be polite, be nice, and ask for a manager or for the next tier of support. They usually can get it for you. Tip number 2 I want to give you is that you can always send this video to your landlord and let them know. They'll always ask, well, why do they have it? And for some reason, they tend not to listen to you when you convey the message that I've conveyed to you as a veteran. So that is the 5 questions that is asked about the W-9 form. So if you would, please like and share this video with your friends, family, even landlord friends, apartment complexes, so that they understand the purpose of the W-9 form. This form is not exclusive to our agency. It is a form that all nonprofits will need in order to provide assistance. So there you go, the 5 questions asked about the W-9 form. Now, for an update on this week. Last week, I explained to you how much money we've given away, how many vets we assisted. And this week, we held a class. We had a great turnout. And as it stands right now, looking at what was pledged already, about $10,000 was pledged in assistance already this month. My monthly budget is about 14. So that's where we're at. And so I just wanted to let you know that's what's going on with this. We're at about $4,000 left for the month, give or take a little bit. So if you're calling in, just know that I'll place you on a standby list. And on that standby list, I will give you a call, because even though I've pledged this, people may not turn in their paperwork. People may have a hard time getting their W-9 forms, like this video suggests. or they may have a hard time getting their lease or whatever may be the case, and I won't be able to provide them assistance this month. But if I have you on a standby list, I may be able to assist you this month. But the second thing about that standby list is that is the first people that I will contact about assistance for next month. So you can call me or you can email me. It's best to email me and communicate with me that way. So to all of my Facebook friends out there, to the family that is watching this, my Facebook Veterans family, thank you. You guys have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you next week.